My literary career began with a suicide note. Actually, it was more of a letter of suicide intent. I was 6 years old and severely depressed. I pinched myself for being a bad person. I tried to hurt myself to the point of tears. My mom was asleep most of the time. She slept away the hurt of her mother's suicide years earlier. I labored over how I would write my suicide note. It was the first time I wrote anything that wasn't assigned to me in school. It wasn't about what I did last summer. It wasn't about Dick and Jane. And it was my first piece of literature, nonfiction. The nonfiction genre has been a hot sell to publishers. But I was 6 years old and writing only for myself and those who needed to know about my suicidal thoughts. I was too young to know that I could pitch the story to a magazine or Random House. When the lights went out, I didn't fall asleep. I stared at the ceiling. Thoughts raced through my head. I needed a pen and paper. All writers need pens and paper. After weeks of trying to figure out the words, putting together what could have been the final documentation of my literary career, I finally dared to put it on paper and I wrote, I want to kill myself. Satisfied with the autobiography, I put the note behind the sofa for my parents to find. I knew my target audience, and I wanted to pull at their heartstrings. I wanted to be understood. My platform was solid, since the demographic of my readers had given birth to me and changed my diapers when I was a baby and drove me to school every morning. But there was something that gave me hope. Hope in life. There was something holding me back from killing myself, from pinching myself into the eternal nether. Girls. When Mom and Dad had other married couples at our house, they laughed and seemed so happy. They left our front door into the vast outside world, holding hands and smiling. If I found a girl and left my family, it would break me out of my depressive funk. I needed a girlfriend. I needed a wife. In my first grade class, I was the kid who peed his pants. I didn't know that I could actually ask the teacher to go to the bathroom. So when the urge pressed through my bladder until the urine was about to blow back into my kidneys, I just let it go. And the rest of the day, I smelled like pee. There was a girl who wore the same clothes to school every day. Her name was Shelley. She didn't mind that my pants were wet and I smelled like urine. She was my girlfriend. Though looking back, I realized she probably didn't know we were going steady. We played on the monkey bars together, and we swung the tetherball back and forth. One day, Mom smelled the pee and asked me, why did I pee my pants? The other question was why I didn't wear underwear, but that's another story. I told her I couldn't hold it in until recess, and she explained that I could go to the bathroom during class if I asked my teacher. I knew the formula, and I never smelled like pee again. And I was able to play with other girls at school who wouldn't have played with me before. One was Pamela. We sat behind the bleachers to hide from the other kids. We sat together and we watched the activities of everyone else. We observed. She had been doing this on her own until I came along, and I didn't smell like pee anymore. And I finally got the courage to ask her the question, will you marry me? With Without taking her eyes off the kickball game and the rest of our class was playing, she said, yes, I was engaged. She was tan and had dirty blonde hair. She was my 6-year-old Farrah Fawcett. I wasn't sure how to proceed, but I knew my future was looking better. We never officially called off our engagement, but I found out that Pamela was also engaged to Kevin. And Kevin told me to stay away from his fiancée. After that, I sat behind the bleachers, alone, and watched the rest of the class play kickball. Pamela laughed with Kevin. I wished I was dead. My suicidal intention became stronger. I had loved and lost. Pamela took my love and my hope. My friend Vince came over to my house, and we wrestled to see who was the strongest. We decided we were both the same strength, and then we played checkers. We sat on the living room floor, and when it was my turn to move, he found a piece of paper under the sofa. To my horror, he opened it up and read it. I want to kill myself. What's this? He asked. Thinking quickly, I said it was something my mom wrote. Then I grabbed it out of his hands and I put it in my pocket. I was a writer. I could write. I just wasn't ready to take credit or criticism yet. Or for my friends to know that I had suicidal thoughts. There was a new girl who came to our school. I loved her short, spunky hair and her yellow flower dress and the way she giggled. I wrote her a poem about her beautiful smile. I'm still waiting to hear back from her. Thank you.